We're going to get started right now. Okay, so welcome to Streams of Collective Consciousness. It is a live stream about sustainable fashion, environmentalism, and we're going to be talking about social justice as well. I hope you're having a good Sunday. I've never streamed on Sunday before, so we're going to see how it goes. I don't have the best internet, so we're going to see as well with that. But again, I'm super excited. There's a lot going on. So yeah. But yeah, let's get into it. I am Ellie, if you don't know who the live stream. I mostly do ethical fashion content here on YouTube. I don't multi-stream right now for the moment. I'm not on Twitch. I technically have an account, but I don't really stream on there, but planning to. And I also stream on, I'm thinking about streaming on TikTok, so we'll see about that. But let's move forward with the live stream. Hopefully you like this full face a little intro. I've always been working out of my Canva presentation thing. So yeah, let's get into it. I am excited. There's so much happening. Always. So here is my little Canva thing. If you want to ever use it, it has all the news bit possible. So here and here and here, all the things will be in there. So if you don't want to listen to me for 2.5 hours, that's perfectly okay. But yeah, how the stream works is I start at 4 p.m. Central Time, and then I get into the sustainable fashion news immediately right off the bat, so expect that. I do try to take a break. The times, by the way, are a bit off because I usually start at 4 on Tuesdays. So this is a new schedule, but today I'll still talk about sustainable fashion and then talk about social issues, environmentalism, and then end off with some fashion shows and some gaming. So if you guys ever want me to talk about something, you can always fill out this community submission form. I'm super excited to have you guys submit something. Honestly, this channel wouldn't be possible without you guys. So anything you want me to cover, let me know. Just fill out the form. It's also in the description. But yeah, I think I'm actually going to live stream Fridays from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Central Time. I'm a morning person. To be honest, I don't really function well with evening times. So even when I was live streaming on Tuesdays, I was just kind of struggling with figuring out how to make that work basically. I was just always so tired, and I'm still kind of relatively tired right now. Even though I took a nap. It's been a Sunday, chill Sunday. It's been a rainy Sunday, and yeah, I just have been very sleepy, very, very sleepy. But yeah, you can learn more about me in the slide as well. But I always talk about myself, personal stuff before I get into the news. I think it's just better if I'm full face camera mode right here. But yeah, I do a lot of YouTube stuff. I'm still trying to figure out how to live stream. I'm not a live streamer. I only ever started live streaming 3 months ago, and I'm wait, what am I doing? I still am trying to figure out what even live streaming is. I just really like sustainable fashion. I like environmentalism. I enjoy social justice for the change it can provide. So this is just a fun creative outlet. I always say that social media is a hobby for me, and I have barely entered the field. I've been doing this actively for the past 6 months, and it's been a wild ride. I'm analyzing all these influencers, the content that they're making. I've been seeing what trends are going on. I see what people gravitate towards. I learned what parasocialists are, or parasocial dynamics are. It's all very incredibly fascinating and also really scary. But I recently made a podcast episode a month ago saying how stalkers have been such a thing in my head and in my real life in the past, to the point where I was I don't know if I could beyond online worlds, but I don't think the threat here is necessarily like stalkers. It's more so like the parasocialists and like how people perceive you and whether that's like accurate or not. And I'm obviously nowhere near being subject to parasocial things, but I'd be seeing like Twitch streamers and oh my god, that's kind of scary how like people clip social moments and then people have hypotheses of like what that meant or like what that's supposed to mean or oh my gosh, he hates her. So like the Twitch community has been like a very interesting thing to analyze. But yeah, I see myself more as a YouTuber more so than anything else. I don't really see anyone talking about ethical fashion. I don't see anyone discussing ethics really or morality online unless you're like into philosophy or you are into, I don't know, like meta existential content. But I think like ethical fashion is like a natural part of fashion. Like what we think is right or wrong is embedded in our lives, embedded in our fashion choices. And I'm just trying to normalize what we think in a more explicit way. Like I like to, you know, explain the different moral philosophies and frameworks going on. I like discussing how our thoughts and feelings really affect things and how we can further understand that to make better, more informed choices. So all those things are just like a normal part of our lives. It's just we don't go around being like, what is my moral framework for this choice? So it's just illuminating things. It's like something I really like to do. And that's kind of like where the name of this live stream actually happened. I see this as more of a way to like bring in people's different thoughts, aka also called consciousness, and like just figuring it out. And a lot of people's thoughts are streams of thoughts. Like it's just a flowing thing of ever ending, never ending tangents and thoughts and ideas, and they can change. So hopefully if you're like figuring out your journey, you change, I guess, for the better, for humanity, for the earth, for the things that are good and true. I can't force you. I can't force anyone. And I just love talking about sustainable fashion and environmentalism and social justice. So like even if I keep you company or keep anyone company for that fact on these topics, and like I've done quote unquote my job, even though like no one pays me for this. Like I do this out of sheer entertainment. Like this is a challenge. I don't know how to make videos. I don't know how to do live streams. I don't know how to make something like entertaining. I'm a very like logical, straightforward person that loves being a writer, and I like being in the background. So like this is like the biggest challenge you could ever put me into. But I've been unemployed. I have been unemployed, but that's changed recently. I actually got a job recently at a thrift store that I'm going to be working at for 20 plus hours. But when I was unemployed for like months and months and months because I couldn't find anything, I was like, what am I supposed to do with all my time? Like I've been applying to jobs, obviously, like I'm spending time with the family, like I'm, you know, like trying to figure out my life. But at the same time, like I was super bored and I was not really challenged by anything. And this was something that I just was so confused about. And I was just like, how do I do this? So I just started watching and learning, and here we are. And I actually really like it. To be honest, I started talking about sustainable fashion news like actually 4 years ago. I'll pull up my YouTube channel and show you that I am not lying, because I've literally have wanted to talk about sustainable fashion for years. I just, for some reason or the other, I just didn't think that YouTube could really happen for me. And I got distracted by like real life, quote unquote real life, that just the digital world was like not that impactful or important to me, to be honest. But like literally my oldest video is me just talking about sustainable fashion news 4 years ago. It got 14 views. I wonder who watched that, but this has just been me. Like this is who I am. I love talking about sustainable fashion news. I love talking about like thrifting. I love zero waste stuff. I like incorporating my culture into things. I'm Mexican American. This is not like a personal shout out. This is just like me showing you the details of like my journey of like, oh my god, like I've needed and wanted to do this. It's just I guess I never really found the right platform, and I just kind of randomly came across the live streaming as a challenge, and now it's all fit together. Like I found a piece to the puzzle basically, but still honestly like kind of confused like how I'm supposed to perform or like how I'm supposed to be as a live streamer. Everyone does it differently, but yeah, this is a bit of my journey. I've been kind of doing videos on and off for the past 4 years, talking about like social justice books, talking about the sweatshop issues and sustainable fashion, more thrifting. I love upcycling. I love anti-hauls. I should do those again. I haven't done those in a while. And then like dyeing stuff. I like dyeing things naturally. More thrift store hauls. I've been doing that since I can remember. That's when I moved to Montana. That's when I moved to Montana. I did one of those. I always have been a book reader, so always talk about books. Went to Mexico. So like since years ago, this is what I've been interested in. It's just I think in a way I gravitated online because I didn't have anyone else to talk about these things in person, or I just didn't feel like there was a time and place for it. So I'm super glad to have live streaming. I feel like it's finally giving me that space, that platform that I just didn't realize was this. But yeah, going forward, I think I will continue live streaming. I don't really see myself as a live streamer still, even though it's like a good platform. And mostly I say that because I am not a good reactor. I don't react immediately. I stutter a lot. I don't feel natural in like performing or entertainment spaces, but I enjoy the fact that I can do this in a real way. Like there's no edits. There's no like taking out the ums or the stutters. This is just like who I am, and I like how people can see that and not like this hyper curated like video persona that I put sometimes in my YouTube videos. Like I'm not super eloquent by nature, so hopefully people get to know me a bit more by these. Hopefully you get to know me by these live streams and just kind of not expect a lot. But I've only been live streaming for 3 months. I will try to get a a gaming PC to start gaming. I've always wanted to do like cozy fashion games, but yeah, I've been struggling to like find confidence in that because I've never been a gamer. Like I don't really game. So hopefully the fashion games are like pretty easy to get into. But I just kind of want to get into that because I don't have any hobbies. I just kind of scroll TikTok for like 3 hours every day. So I think it would just be more fun to like do something fun versus just going endlessly on the internet. But I think that's it for my personal updates. I'm just going to be working a lot. I'm scheduled to work at the thrift store for 25 hours. Then I work at a vintage shop for 10 hours, and then I'm going to do Depop for like 20 hours a week. So 25 plus 20 is 45, and then the 9 hours is, what is that? 54 hours. But I also do YouTube. I also do live streaming. I also, try to upload TikToks, even though I don't really know how to make good TikToks. But I don't know why I'm doing this. But I really like it. It's a challenge, and I've always wanted to do YouTube videos. Like at the end of the day, I want to do YouTube videos, but like you have to promote it. You have to do all these other things. So I'm trying to figure out how to like use TikTok and like social media. And it's a challenge, so I'm not complaining that much. But yeah, I will be busy. So hopefully the new schedules are fine with everyone. You can always watch them anytime. It's recorded and on my YouTube channel. But I will be trying to live stream next Friday at 9 a.m. in the morning to see how that goes. But to get into the news, let's get into the news because I do talk a lot about myself sometimes. But yes, it doesn't hurt to talk about myself. So one of the things that I've been noticing is that Shein is endlessly progressing and advancing their initiatives. And by what I mean by that is that they have created a new fashion brand in Australia and inspired by Australian culture. So they're basically introducing Aria Lina, which is a new brand that draws inspiration from Australian culture. And according to the brand, Aralina, which sets itself apart from its minimalist and eco-friendly objectives, it puts a twist on loungewear, swimwear, casual clothing, and athleisure that is created with comfort, self-assurance, and genuineness in mind. See, this is the thing. Like, can they actually achieve this within a brand when Shein is like the definition of the opposite? Like, where's the comfort in Shein? Like, where is the self assurance within Shein? Like, where's the genuineness in Shein? I honestly feel like this brand is just a projection of everything that they're failing to do in their own brand because more and more people are not trusting Shein. Marissa says, glad to hear the personal updates. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's good for people to know, like, where I'm coming from because live streaming is so difficult for me. Like, I'm such an introvert and I just stutter a lot sometimes. Maybe for other people, you may not notice or it's just normal. But for me, I'm like, oh my God, I could have edited that out. I could have, like, taken that out. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoy the personal updates. Not just a blank page of a human, I guess. I'm an actual person living life. But yeah, going back to the article, it says the brand is established by an Australian team that's going to be led by Tara, which is the director of products and brand at Shein. And then Aralina intends to include preferred materials into 20% of its collections by the end of this year. I don't know what they mean by this. Include preferred materials into 20% of its collections by the end of this year. Yeah, I don't know what that means. At the moment, the firm offers 30% recycled polyester of mixes. 30% recycled polyester mixes and viscose that is safe for forests in 9% of its lines. I think they're trying to say that they're actually using like eco-friendly preferred materials in 20% of its collection. But it's kind of like funny how Shein is like trying to launch a sustainable fashion brand in Australia away from US consumers that are aware of the damages. So I kind of wonder if like Australia knows the damage of Shein, if they're like super eco-conscious or eco-aware. There may be some people that are eco-aware, but I don't know if they would trust the brand from Shein. I don't really know the Australian culture, but that's super interesting. And then the director of products and brand says here in the article that wait, is it a female? Tara claims that production begins with small test batches of 100 to 200 pieces per design, with restocks based on actual demand in order to reduce waste and inventory overproduction. See, this is like the only article I've seen on this. I have not seen anyone else pick up on this news, which is very concerning because I think we would need a lot more people talking about it so more consumers are aware. Because this seems like a greenwashing collection, to be honest. From the outside looking in, obviously, who knows what's really going on. So this one's a new article by Inside Retail. It says Shein launches Australian fashion label Aralina. I like the name though. Don't get me wrong, I hate Shein, but I like the name Aralina. So apparently they distinguish themselves with minimalism and sustainability goals, offers a take on casual wear, loungewear, and swimwear. Okay, that's the same thing we read in the other one. Apparently our brand, Aralina, proudly draws inspiration from the vibrant Australian lifestyle. So our team is determined to deliver a more thoughtful collection that reflects attention to fabric, fit, and form, shaped by the rhythms of the modern Australian life. We are constantly adapting, learning, and evolving, and we're ready to understand the future of retail. Interesting. So the ranges will feature sizes from Australian size 6 to 24, allowing accessibility to all body types. It says each collection is not just about fashion, it's about living beautifully and with confidence. I'm excited for the world to experience it. Uh-oh. I don't trust Tara here. Wait, I'm always so confused about SHEIN and their expansion efforts because I think all the money would go back to them, right? It wouldn't really go to improving sustainability within their efforts. Even though this brand, Elle, is going and moving on towards sustainability goals of some sort. Elle, let's look. Do they have an Instagram? Yes. So they actually have a whole marketing. It seems like very beachy, very summer, very outdoorsy. I like the aesthetics of this. It reminds me of Free People. It's a brand here in the United States I've seen in the malls. From the offset, like it doesn't look like it would be a SHEIN related brand. Let me reduce myself down so you can see there you go. But it looks like very much a late 20-year-old girl with free time, likes the beach, the outdoors, atypical attractive woman, size 0. It's giving like Gen Z millennial audience targeting. They do use plus size models, but from like the outside looking in, I would not assume this is owned by SHEIN. Oh my gosh. Okay. I had too many tabs open, but as soon as I went onto their website, they did have like this thing that kind of looks like the Temu discounts, but this is their official website underneath SHEIN, and they said that it's 16,000 repurchases so far. So 16,000 people have already shopped from this, and it's basically like advertised as boho spirit. Now this is just kind of like consumerism at worst. Shop the latest trends. Alrighty. Curated in Australia, live beautifully in style, available in size 6 through 24, featuring a selection of responsibly sourced and produced styles. So they're all still relatively cheap. Like this top is $15, the pants are $27, $14 here, $24 here. So they're definitely eyeing the Australian market for the outdoorsy girl. I really do wonder where they got this idea. Like, do they want to get more Australian consumers? Do they see that they're more sustainability oriented, that they're more outdoorsy? Like, this is a very niche little subsection of their broader brand as SHEIN. So I kind of wonder like where this got inspired from. It's just, it all feels so weird. It just feels weird. I don't know. Promo. So they're promoting a $13 soft knit texture loungewear. Okay. Yeah, I don't really see what's so special about it or what makes it so different from like SHEIN. itself. It doesn't, I don't think it says where it was made or the materials, but let's see. Okay, small description, no smell. That's great to know. What's the materials here? Especially when they said only a certain percentage of it is made from recycled polyester. So I also like wonder like what the other materials are, like where it's made, what is it made out of. I have so many questions. Also, I noticed that they mark their numbers here. So the SKU is something that they mark their pieces, and you can share that link and then look it up here, and then it'll pop up. And so influencers online have been sharing the number, the SKU, as like a promoting thing, like a promotion. Like, just put in these numbers and you can be able to shop my looks. I'm like, bro, no, I don't want to do this. So that's very interesting. But it's $11. It's just, I have a lot of questions and it doesn't give any information. It just looks like a typical SHEIN top at this point by how they're like just putting no information. So that's very unfortunate. I would like more information, please. And this is all we get as consumers outside looking in. Like, this is all we get. There's no further explanations. Like, I don't really know what I'm buying. So for SHEIN to like create this new brand and make it like more quote unquote responsible consumerism and still not give us details of the materials or like anything, I feel like it's greenwashing. That's kind of my immediate conclusion. But again, I haven't really seen a lot about this brand anywhere else. Like, I don't see any major fashion brands talking about it. I just came across these articles and that was kind of it. So I do hope more people study this, especially when they call it the sustainable edit. No, I don't want to open the gift. No, how do I exit out? Stop. But yeah, they have like numerous pages. I just came across another page. So I think they're trying to embed themselves more into like sustainable and responsible narratives on their website and say that they're doing something. But this one is in American dollars, so maybe this is like the Americanized version because it's now in like dollars versus in AU. But again, it doesn't really say the details of the items. Okay, it says here polyester. Composition 93% viscose, 7% elastane. Special features, forest safe fibers. Description. It just describes the item. Size and fit, just product measurements. But they do say it's living beautifully in style. Yeah, it doesn't really give a background story of like where these things are coming from. So I'm just going to say I don't trust it. Especially when like they're even making an option for the Americans to buy it when it's supposed to be like an Australian thing. So I think they're open to getting your money one way or the other. Wait, why does it say SHEIN Singapore? Oh, this is Singapore, not American. Oh, it's S. Okay, I've never seen that. So Singapore has access to this. Oh, interesting. I am more confused. I thought it was just like an American dollar, but I didn't notice this thing. And then it says Singapore. Interesting. Yeah, I'm very confused. I don't know what they're doing. SHEIN always fails to disappoint. But going on to good news, I think that's what I always like to focus on. In the midst of the confusion of these major fast fashion brands and what the hell they're trying to do and what they're selling and how they're selling it and why they're selling it. So recently I saw that the Fashion Act is progressing within the committees that it needs to pass through to hopefully be, certified and passed into law. So if you don't know, the Fashion Act is a law that would hold major brands accountable, and it's been struggling to pass for the past couple of years. And recently it was like reintroduced basically within the process of trying to get passed. And it recently went through the Assembly's Committee on Environmental Safety and Toxic Materials and the Natural Resource Committee. So basically, like I said, the bill would hold fashion brands accountable for environmental harm and promote more sustainable practices moving forward. And there's like major celebrities endorsing this, major support behind it. It's just now a matter of getting more of those like politicians to, vote on it and pass it. So there's just a lot of like high powered people behind it. It's just it keeps getting paused and stunted within the process internally. So, but yeah, the post is like from Maxine Bidat, and she's been like a power player. And she was basically saying here in like this Instagram post an update and how the next step is for it to hopefully be passed within the appropriations committee. And they're actually going to have like she's gonna help host a march May 6th. But this is her, Maxine, and she's in charge of a new standards institute, which is building a community around science, data, and lived experiences to counter corporate greenwashing. So she's been like the leader in trying to get like the Fashion Act supported and endorsed by a lot of different people and pushing like the needle forward. She is really busy, so she usually works a lot with like major influencers and like major people internally. But I kind of lost access to a lot of like the WhatsApp messages and like internal groups just because I keep changing my phone number, and like I don't know where those group messages went. There's like too many. I don't really read my messages, but she's good with social media if you want to follow her. Her name's Maxine Bidat. Not the best external communication, obviously, like I was saying, but you should definitely follow her. And I do want to like see where I saw there's an Albany thing happening May 6th, which I forgot where I saw. She put it in a comment, but I also saw a social media post. The thing is with this act and the people in charge of it, it's not centralized. It's like a very decentralized effort from a lot of people coming together to push it forward, and then all the information just ends up everywhere. And then I don't remember where I saw things. So let me see where I saw that post about the march that's happening or the action that's happening. I don't think it's a march. It's a rally, I think. I don't remember. No, that's not it. But if you look up the Fashion Act on social media, you'll see years and years and years of like activism around this. It's been a nonstop effort by a lot of people. I do think it could benefit from having more centralized leaders and actions, but that's just me. But it's okay. That's fine. I can't find it. I probably will cover it in my next live stream. Oh wait, it's gonna be too late. May 6th is Monday. I'll just ask for a recap. I don't remember where I saw the other information about how to like join. It's like I don't remember. Yeah, I don't really remember where I saw the information. Okay, I think it's this. The Fashion Act Facilitation Alliance. I think that's where I saw it. Yes? No? Let me see. Well, another good organization for you to know is the Fashion Act Facilitation Alliance. This is like a community of supporters on this. I think this one's recent. Basically, they were trying to get New York students involved in this back in April. But yeah, I can't see what's happening in May 6th, so we're just gonna like move on, unfortunately, because I don't want to spend my whole time just scrolling and trying to guess where I saw things at. But yeah, things are moving with that particular sustainable fashion law. Again, I would hope for more centralized leadership and like more of a one hub of like leaders where I could like follow or like just learn about this topic. But I guess we do what we can when we can. But yeah, let's go to the next one. Okay, so last live stream, I honestly kind of got traumatized. I honestly did get traumatized. The last live stream was like a lot. Maybe that's the reason why I skipped Fridays, even though I could have streamed on Friday. I was like, I don't, I need a break. Maybe I'll try to do the Sunday stream and miss up like my new schedule with work. But to give context, I live streamed last Tuesday, and I watched a PETA video where a woman was basically stabbing like a mini crocodile, but it was fake. But when she was like fake stabbing the crocodile, fake blood like splashed all over her dress. But the knife was kind of blurred in the video just to like keep it somewhat PG. But it was still very like disturbing. But they were trying to make a point of the violence and cruelty that's found within the fashion industry around animal sourcing and animal murders, basically. So they're like ramping up the efforts and calling out the violence found in the fashion industry and to talk about the ethics of animal farming. So they attended a Hermès meeting recently to basically advocate for vegan bags and to talk about like ethics within animal farming. So let's get into the article. So it says, when will Hermès ban wild animal skins and embrace ethical luxury by launching vegan Birkin and Kelly bags? This was a question that PETA, which owns shares in the French company, put to Chief Executive Officer Elle Dumas on April 30th during Hermès general meeting. The action follows PETA's new DIY video on YouTube, which has garnered over 1 million views across all platforms, and shows a fashion blogger teaching her audience how to make an Hermès Birkin bag from scratch, starting with a live 3-year-old crocodile. Oh, it was a crocodile. Okay. Oops. Apparently I was too traumatized and didn't understand what I was looking at. Explained PETA, an acronym for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, in a statement. So I cannot read today. It's a little bit of a, wait, let me get some coffee. It says numerous designer brands are ditching deadly, destructive wild animal skins, but Hermès is still clinging to the same old cruelty, said Tracy Raymond, executive vice president of PETA, urging the French company to use only luxury vegan materials which do not involve the torture and killing of sentient beings. Dumas told shareholders he was open to world. Open to world? I don't know what that means. While rejecting PETA's request to visit an Australian intensive farm supplying Hermès together. Okay. Dumas' response during the meeting, according to PETA, was an empty and shameful attempt to avoid all responsibility. Dumas told shareholders he was open to world while rejecting PETA's request to join him on a visit to an Australian intensive farming supplying. He was open to visit an Australian intensive farm. Are farms called intensive farm? To visit an Australian intensive farm supplying Hermès, where it claims crocodiles languish in tiny, dirty cages before workers electrocute them, cut their throats, and stab them in the brain with screwdrivers, sometimes while they are still conscious. Oh God. I would hate to be those workers. Jesus Christ. Those Australian workers are also becoming traumatized. Dang. And also dang to the animals. What the? Oh my gosh. Fashion United contacted Hermès for an official statement on PETA's intervention at the meeting, but has not yet received any comment. Full text of question to Hermès President Axel Dumas. Here is the full text of the question to Dumas. My name is James Fraser, and oh my God. All these names are so weird. My name is James Frazier, and I have a question for Chief Executive Officer Axel Dumas on behalf of People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. An investigation into Australian farms owned by Hermès and its suppliers shows that crocodiles are confined to crammed cages or small concrete pens filled with dirty water before being electrocuted, dragged, and mutilated with blades and screwdrivers, some while still conscious. On farms in South Africa that supply Hermès with ostrich skins, young animals spend their short lives in barren pens. At a slaughterhouse, workers force ostriches into stun boxes, causing many to slip and fall before slitting their throats. In response to the investigation, Hermès continues to mislead the public and shareholders by referring to CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, knowing full well that this regulation concerns the number of animals traded, not the horrific way they're raised and killed. Interesting. Monsieur Dumas selling macabre accessories made from the body parts of wild animals is tarnishing our company's reputation and alienating the conscious consumers who represent the future of luxury fashion. When will Hermès ban wild animal skins and embrace ethical luxury by launching vegan Birkin and Kelly bags? Fraser concluded. Following Dumas' response, the Animal Rights Association reiterated in a statement that it would not be possible to speak of ethical farming as the chief executive officer of Hermès has done when obviously there is nothing moral about cramming animals into overcrowded cages and brutally slaughtering them for their skin. From Texas to Zimbabwe to South Africa, PETA has denounced the appalling conditions in which animals are raised and killed for Hermès accessories, and the fashion house will continue to be pressured by PETA until it stops selling products made from the skin of tormented animals and switches to luxury vegan materials. PETA finally noted that many other fashion houses such as Chanel, Balenciaga, Burberry, Mulberry, Victoria Beckham, Diane von Furstenberg, and Vivienne Westwood has banned the use of reptile or other wild animal skins from their collections. Dang. Hermès, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't really agree that you should kill the animal point blank. I have been vegetarian my whole life and I've wanted to go vegan, but I haven't because of low income limitations. So I can't really afford to buy the vegan food that I should be eating. So yeah, I resonate with the vegan ethos, the vegan lifestyle, being as ethical as possible within not only your food sources, but your handbags and your coats. There has been contention of oh, should I be buying genuine leather goods if they're secondhand? Now that's a whole different conversation, but I've grappled with that a lot, especially because I know how these animals may just be raised to be killed. And that's not okay in my eyes. And then all the waste in meat and resources just to get the skin is also very nasty and inefficient to think about. And also morally it's not right to be killing animals just for our use, just for our consumption. I think these animals have feelings and thoughts, even if we can't directly communicate with them. I truly believe that they're worthy of respect and dignity and love, and to think that they're being killed while they're still, or to be skinned while they're still conscious, that's utter torture at worst, and they still deserve mercy and I guess a kind killing if that's possible, even though the process itself is so ugly. I think animals deserve the best and shouldn't even be killed in the first place. They shouldn't be in this place at all. So I know PETA has this very intense video that I got traumatized by watching, but I think it's to open people's eyes of the cruelty and the violence, and to show this is not okay. You just have to be kind of brave to watch it. But I don't think it's nothing in comparison to what's actually happening in the fashion industry. And I do think it's impactful for those that can afford to buy Hermès, and hopefully the consumers that buy Hermès can fully understand like what's happening, to be more conscious and maybe hopefully more ethical in their shopping purchases for bags. But if they don't know better, I guess they're just gonna like buy without a thought. But good on PETA for like trying to do something. They are a bit like pushy sometimes with their ideals, but they do ask very important questions like how and when will you make the vegan, Hermes Birkin bag? So I think it is possible on Hermes's end to do a vegan option. I just don't think they want to if they haven't. I do wonder why they haven't followed suit to like the brands of Chanel and Vivienne Westwood. Like, why haven't they like quote unquote cared or tried to at least do an alternative? Like, it could bring in more consumers to their like brand. So why not try it? It doesn't hurt to have an alternative. But yeah, very unfortunate that Hermes is not even like giving a direct answer and just coming up with vague quotes. So maybe that's the answer in itself to like their ethos. Like they just don't want to address the reality. They just want to keep things as they are. Maybe they don't care about ethical luxury. It certainly seems like it from how they're responding, or their lack of responding at that. So yeah, yep. We need the vegan Birkin. Or we can buy the Workin, the Walmart version that we know is fake. Technically, it's already vegan if it's made from like polyester or like the plastic leather. It's technically vegan. So, the Workin, and it's cheaper. There you go. We found a solution, maybe. Everyone that's going to buy the real Hermes, just buy the Workin, not the Birkin. No, but that's a joke. Like we do need more ethics within luxury fashion for sure. And it starts with the animal rights. Oh, poor animals. They deserve so much better from us. So much better from us. They still have feelings and thoughts, man. I mean, I don't care what they say about crocodiles and alligators. I think they're sweet. We should just leave them alone and not get into their territory or their waters. Just leave them alone. They'll be fine. They won't hurt us if we just leave them alone. Okay, so to move on, I did see that there was an eco fashion weekend happening in Singapore of all places. I love this look. It's very interesting how it has this like jacket that's almost like folded upwards. I've never seen that sort of like construction of a jacket, and I really like it. It almost looks like a curtain as well with the little holes right here, but yeah, I love this jacket. And the ties with it, so cool. But apparently there was an eco-fashion weekend in the Southeast Asia's Changemakers program where designers and communities came together to celebrate sustainability, innovation, and conscious fashion. So to read the article, it says Eco-Fashion Weekend 2025 took place from April 25th to April 27th. Oh my god, my voice is leaving. I guess it's late. Celebrating Southeast Asia's leading fashion changemakers, the 3-day event was a dynamic blend of meaningful conversations, a hands-on workshop, and a stunning showcase, all centered on sustainability and conscious fashion. And the weekend kicked off with a panel discussion that brought together industry leaders to delve into the future of sustainable fashion. The conversation touched on the complex intersections of environmental responsibility, cultural heritage, and innovation, and it set the tone for the rest of the weekend, where attendees were invited to explore deeper questions around the role conscious fashion plays in shaping our world. Oh, I love that. I love the graphics that they used as well. That's super cool to see. Nice. So Saturday brought Eco Fashion Awards and Fashion Showcase, which took place at Ida's Bar and Event Space. Oh, nice. Shout out to Ida's. So the evening highlighted 13 conscious brands and recognized individuals and brands making an impact throughout 8 award categories. And then Sunday they wrapped up and they had a mindful stitching workshop. Very cool. So the theme throughout the weekend was safe place, safe space. The support from the public in our inaugural year was both encouraging and unexpected. This year, we are immensely grateful for our venue and media partners as well as the public. Yes, and it underscores fashion's potential to promote inclusivity, environmental stewardship, and collective empowerment, offering a glimpse into the future of fashion where sustainability and human connection takes center stage. Oh, it's so wholesome. Very wholesome. They also had an opening panel that talked about sustainability, where they talked about the possibilities of merging tradition with innovation and sustainable fashion. And the panel sparked thought and action, grounded the weekend in collective purpose and rich cross-cultural insight. Ooh, very wholesome. And then they had a fashion showcase where they celebrated 13 brands that took center stage. Very cool. They're having so much fun and I wasn't there. See, I hate and love seeing this because like I wish I was there. But I'm just looking at it on my laptop. Okay, next year. Next year. And then they had a social space where they recognized people and sustainable alternatives. Nice, cool. Then that was their workshop. Cool. Mindful workshop brought the weekend to a gentle close. So nice. Had the core values of slow fashion, intentionality, and community. Very cool. That looks so fun. Oh, I didn't get invited. Where's my ticket? Where was my ticket, guys? But yeah, it was called Eco Fashion Weekend 2025. See, I want to see. I want to see if I can find anything on YouTube. The thing is, I don't really know what to look up when it's just Eco Fashion Weekend because there's a lot of other Eco Fashion Weeks happening right now. But we will try our best. Oh wait, we'll put in the program. It was from the Southeast Asia's Changemakers? No. Who was it sponsored by? Blah, blah, blah. It was just called Eco Fashion Weekend. Yep. Okay. Southeast Asia. I will just put that. Southeast Asia. See what we find. I don't see anything. Dang. Well, most likely they don't have a YouTube video because it just kind of happened and they probably take a while to like make stuff. Yeah, it happened like 10 days ago. So, and it was their first one, so most likely no YouTube video out. Hopefully they have a recap on some sort of social media. I would love to see it. But to move on, I will be talking about Vinted. I don't know if you guys have heard of Vinted, but basically there's this like resale store, secondhand fashion marketplace. I don't know why I said resale store. But apparently their profits have skyrocketed recently thanks to apparently scale, innovation, and cost control. I don't know what that means, but we'll get into it. So this is a article by The Industry, and they say the secondhand fashion marketplace Vinted has reported soaring profits in 2024 with group revenue up by 36%, which is about 696.2 million euros. Gosh, that's a lot of money. Oh, wait, what? Oh, it used to be. It grew from... Oh, wait, no, I read that wrong. So they grew 36%. So like in 2023, it was at 696.2 million euros, and it went up to 813.4 euros. So they made about 200 million euros more this year. And this has come from a strategic investment across logistics, payments, and re-commerce innovations. I don't know what that means. They need to like speak English sometimes. What are they talking about? I feel like I'm in my business classes again. I went to business school and this just sounds like a weird article where they're trying to like get us to care about keywords and business cases. Like I don't know what this means. It says growth came from multiple fronts, including geographic expansion. Basically, they went to different areas, had a new electronic category that allows users to buy and sell secondhand tech. Oh, I thought it was a fashion marketplace though. So they're technically not just a fashion marketplace now. Very interesting. They're liars. They're liars. Vinted, you're a liar. You sell tech. That's very interesting. So can you still be a fashion marketplace if you sell secondhand tech on it? Interesting. And then they have a company logistics arm called Vinted Go that scaled further across the continent, although it's yet to enter the UK. What's Vinted Go? It sounds like Vincent van Gogh. That was lame. I don't know why is that. Okay. Vincent Go. Shipping a service trusted by millions of Vinted users. Vinted Go is our way of taking better control of the climate impact of shipping, which accounts for 97% of our operational footprint. What began as 2 lockers in 2022 has now grown to 5 sorting facilities and 200 electric vehicles. Oh gosh. So they're in France, Belgium, Netherlands, they just repeated it. France, Belgium, and Netherlands. Very interesting. So it says, we deliver affordable and convenient shipping while growing businesses in your neighborhood. Every locker, parcel, shop, and neighborhood location we add makes it easier for you to send and collect parcels in a way that uses less carbon. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Huh. So they use electric vehicles. I've never heard of this. That's very interesting. But yeah, Vinted has also closed a major secondary share sale in October 2024. Share sale? Which amounted to 5 billion euros. Adding value to the business for about $5 billion. What does that mean? What's this major secondary share sale? See, sustainable fashion can be heavily entrenched within capitalism, and like this is a key example of like they're immersed in business lingo and business stuff, and I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what is this major secondary share? I'm so confused. Like, explain it to me like I'm a baby. I don't know what I'm reading. So the deal allowed everyone who owned shares in Vinted, including employees, to cash in on some of their success, while also bringing in new investors to support Vinted future growth. New investors, key words there. Who is the new investors? If it amounts to 5 billion euros, I don't know. I think it's major corporations wanting a piece of the pie. So Mauricio, CFO of Vinted, said these results not only reflect Vinted's wide adoption across Europe, but also our substantial contribution to the secondhand economy. This, along with securing our secondary share sale. Okay, I don't know what that means. And our 5 billion valuation demonstrates our robust financial position to be able to continue to scale and reinvest into the business, fueling further growth. Okay. So their mission is to reshape how fashion is bought and sold. I have heard of this brand on the internet. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. I think it's mostly based in Europe, from what I can tell. But here's their website. Here's the electronics we're talking about. Kind of looks like Depop. Not gonna lie, I don't know anything about them. How it works? Let's do this. How it works. Vinted is your platform for pre-owned pieces you'll love. One community, thousands of brands, and a whole lot of secondhand style. Ready to get started? Here's how it works. Wait, I thought that's what I was reading. Okay. Selling is simple, so list for free. Download the app, take photos, describe it, and set your prices. Then sell it and ship it. And then you get paid. Nice. As soon as the buyer confirms everything is okay. Oh, okay. It's like Depop. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't heard of them. And in the American sense. But I have seen them here and there, but not that much. Let's see this.
Welcome to my wardrobe. So I'm doing a clear out because my style's kind of evolving. This is a self-portrait Sustainable number that I am selling on my vintage. This is J.W. Anderson. It's fantastic. Years ago, I went to the British Fashion Awards and I was sat next to this guy and they were reading out all of the best newcomers. Blah, blah, blah. J.W. Anderson. I elbowed the guy next to me and said, I love that guy. He's a great designer. And he went, yeah, I am that guy. Mortified. What other treasures do we have in here? Deeply impractical, but actually sort of the star of the show. This is my amazing Miu Miu bra, which I wore to one of their after parties in Paris. Do I need to keep these? Be real. I think I've got my goodies now. I am really sentimental about my clothing, so to see it kind of all together laid out, it just feels like a lot of memories in one place. I think the idea that these clothes can live on in someone else's wardrobe and be new again to them, I find that idea really appealing. So we've had great times together, but I now need to kiss them all goodbye. If you like clothes that have a bit of history and you enjoy my style, then follow me at Alexa Chung on Vinted. Welcome.
Interesting, very interesting. It does give Depop vibes. What is Vinsites? Huh? Oh, they sell socks on here? Oh. What do you guys wear in used socks? That's the thing I would never really buy used. That's just my perspective. But, to each their own preference. I cannot judge apparently because we all practice sustainability different. But I personally will never buy socks used. That's just me. That's just me. If you're courageous enough to buy secondhand socks, wash it or bleach it or whatever and wear it, kudos to you, man. That is a different art form. Oh wait, I think I did buy used socks once. I worked at a thrifted store. I'm taking back my words. I used to work at a thrift store and it was so cold. It was negative 30 degrees in Montana. And I worked outside because I would be the donation coordinator of sorts, where I would bring in the donations into the building. And so it would be negative 30. The store was literally open. People were coming and I would have to take in these donations. And my feet were killing me. I felt this deep, deep ache into my soul because it was so cold. And I desperately needed the money. And they always put me to receive the donations. I don't know if it was racism because I was only Mexican there. I don't know if it was because I was the oldest one there. I think it was a mix of everything coming together. But they always had me as the donation intaker, coordinator, whatever, and I was just freezing. And so I saw these very fluffy wool socks that were so dense, and I remember seeing them and I was I need these because I was so tired of having my feet be so cold and I was just dying for hours and hours. And I think I blocked this memory out on purpose because the thought of buying used socks still irks me. It makes me think I'm going to go throw up. I feel like I'm about to throw up by just remembering this memory. But I really, really needed these socks. And those type of socks are hell expensive. It's $60, $70. Because I went to an athletic store. I forget the name of it. And I was trying to look for very heavy wool socks just for work. And they were all way too above my pay grade. I was not being paid enough to spend $60, $70 on socks that were going to go towards work. And I was really poor. So I was yeah, I can't afford these. And I was just freezing. And then I saw these and I'm oh, I need them. So I washed them 3 times and they sat in my drawer for a month. And then I finally wore them and it was still negative 20, 40 degrees. It just got colder within the month. So in a way I was hoping not to use them, but I eventually did use them and then they became my favorite thing ever. But yeah, they really did help But kudos to you if you buy and use used socks, because I struggled. But I broke. I broke when it was negative 30 degrees and I was working outside for hours in Montana, receiving donations, and just having to do it. Like, I was forced to be out there. Not a pretty job. And I was like 26. My youth got sucked up in that job. It was not a fun time. Not fun. Also, why do you keep a store open in negative 30 degree weather? And why are you donating stuff at negative 30 degree weather? Montana makes no sense. Anyways, but to go into more of this article, basically the CEO says, at Vinted, we aim to build an ecosystem of businesses that can change the way consumers consume. Given the potential size of the market, and we know there's a huge opportunity ahead and lots of work to be done to get there. We see our current position as a solid foundation to build this future on, and we'll continue to learn and improve. We are at the start of the journey and aiming high. So the thing is, like, is this a money grab? Is Vinted and like Depop and all these other organizations that are popping off around sustainable fashion a money grab? Because I see a lot more like fast fashion brands getting into this like secondhand fashion marketplace, and I just question, like, why are you doing this? Is it because you actually really care about the fashion industry, or is it because you're seeing your money profits go up like this? Because we have so much clothing that we have 6 generations worth of it. So like, what is the intention here? Like, do these CEOs really care? Do they actually want a positive impact in the fashion industry, or is it that they just want to build an ecosystem of business? Like, do they want to continue capitalism? Like, it certainly sounds like it. It sounds like, yeah, we're building now our network of money right here. We're trying to get more and more money, guys. And they barely talked about their positive impact. All they said is, oh yeah, we're changing the way society consumes. But like, it's a very consumeristic take. Like, obviously, like, it looks at how people are spending their money, and hopefully there was like a dog right outside of my window. I think it's the next door's neighbor, just like right outside of my window. That was so weird. I like paused and I heard a dog whining. Oh gosh. Anyways, but I just feel like Vinted is out here to grab our money, and they just want us to buy sustainable fashion so it makes them profit as a brand. But we know we need laws, right? We need the laws. We need systemic change. We need political action. We don't need an ecosystem of businesses. We need an ecosystem of systemic change. And this could be the start, obviously, but like, if there's a lack of conversation around laws and political action and like true values around sustainability in the fashion industry, then like, this is just a money grab. But outside looking in, I don't really know what I'm looking at because I'm so unfamiliar with this company. So I'm not going to give it an immediate like, you're canceled, like, I don't trust this. So let me see if I can do a bit more research. But yeah, I'm entirely unaware of like if they actually really care, what their origin story is. But let's see what this is.
Own a lot of clothes. On Vinted, you can make extra money by selling clothes you don't need. Don't wear it, sell it. Download Vinted.
Dang, I wonder if I had to make a video of myself wearing how many hats I had, it'd probably be like canceled. I have so many like boots. I have so many bags. I have so many scarves. It's not not a healthy amount. I'm certainly not a minimalist. So I would hate to do that video on myself, but it'd be fun. It'd be like a fun YouTube video. But I'm a maximalist. Like I have 10 jackets, I have like 10 jeans, I have like 50 boots. I am such a sucker for boots. I could probably sell it. I was actually having a conversation about this with my dad. Here, I'll go back to the camera. I'm trying to like test out switching from thing to thing. Do you guys like this? Switching from like big screen to small screen. But I was actually having a conversation about this with my dad because I told him I have like over 50 pairs of boots because I'm a sucker for boots, but I'm very picky with my boots. So I'm not going to get rid of them, and I probably will have them for the rest of my life. And then I collect vintage shoes, and I have like 20 vintage pairs of shoes that are very like antique-y. I can show you one. There, some are right here. Excuse my face. Oh, no, I can't change that. Okay. If I move the ecosystem, it's going to like fall apart. But the shoes are just like next to the shelf and I don't want to move them. But basically they're like very vintage shoes, and I'm collecting them because hopefully I can wear them one day and have a use for them. But yeah, right now I'm not wearing them, so you can say they're kind of useless and taking up space, and they're like next to my whole tech space, and like it's kind of leaning into things, so I don't want to mess with it. But he was like, oh, you should have like a garage sale, like you should resell things. I'm like, no, I don't want to like get rid of my own things. I want to keep my things. But he's like, yeah, you can set up a garage sale, sell your stuff. You have too many, you have like 50 of them. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how much stuff we have. Very crazy. I wonder why we have so much things, why we need it, why we want it. I question that with myself too. Like, why do I have or want to need 50 pairs of boots and vintage shoes? Like, are you actually going to pass them down? Hopefully, if I have a daughter. That's the goal. But I don't know where that innate desire comes from, to be honest. I don't know where that need stems from. Okay, so we're gonna move on. So Austin has a lot of like good sustainability oriented efforts and organizations that I low-key want to go in person to attend. And on May 10th, they're having a sustainable fashion event called Sustain, May 10th. Doors open at 12, and basically it says Sustain is a fashion show in partnership with Goodwill Central Texas, featuring designers and stylists upcycling items from Goodwill into fashion-forward runway-worthy looks. And Sustain features style studders Jennifer Carter, Allison Miller, and Ashley Sauls walking to benefit Goodwill Central Texas. So these are the style strutters. I don't know how they came up with those words, but style strutters. And then you can purchase tickets here. I'm kind of curious how much the tickets cost. I low-key would go, but I am not anywhere near Austin, Texas. All access badge, $195 to $800. Jesus. Runway, $50 to $195. Another runway showcase, $50 to $195. Another runway, $50 to $195. So they're having a lot of like runway shows at different times. But they all minimum range from $50 to up to $200, which is kind of pricey if you want to go to numerous of them. Interesting. So they have a lot of like local organizations. Nice. Supporting them. Cool. A lot of great local designers are coming. Custom by Mulaney. I think I'm scrolling too fast. My bad. Daughter of Venus, Delicat, a lot of designers. Isa Rainy Style. Ether. Low-key, I'm going to follow all these people. This one looks cool. Ether is a brand by a lady. Alexandra is a sustainable fashion designer based in Austin, Texas, who specializes in upcycling fabrics and other secondhand items into avant-garde creations. Their work reimagines androgynous streetwear, blending comfort with eccentric style to challenge the boundaries of modern fashion. Ooh, super cool. Oh, I love this. What is this? She says, I thought a lot about my identity after making this collection and how I've always shown up in the world. Creating it constantly reminded me of how my ancestors are with me in every piece I do, every step of the way, encouraging me to be everything I am while guiding me to break colonial gender constructs. I'm grateful to see more androgyny in fashion and be a part of the movement. This look is representative of my Mexican heritage to myself and my ancestors. Oh, that's so cool. I want her on my podcast. I want her on my podcast right now. Oh, this is so cool. Like, even if she's not on my podcast, like, this is amazing. Oh my god, I've been so into orchards. I've been doing this thing where I like go on Pinterest and I like pin all the orchard bags and like necklaces. So this is super nice. It's very much my vibe right now. That's so cool. This one is Nadia and the Orchard. The stage was the first stage of love, innocence in all its glory, showing she was the one the whole time. That's what the caption says. Oh, that's super cool. And she's a singer as well. So nice. Cool. I'll give her a follow. Very talented lady. But yeah, that's an example of all the designers there. I just randomly clicked on her, which kind of worked out because I loved the vibe, the ethos. But yeah, Austin fashion, man. I want to be there. I want to support. Maybe next year. May 10th. Maybe next year. But yeah, there's a lot of great designers here. Very cool. Very nice. Very cool. The list goes on and on. Sorry if this hurts your eyes. I'm just scrolling over here. Let's go to the About. Fashion. Austin Fashion Week is entering its 17th year and is the largest, longest running fashion event in Texas. Austin Fashion Week emphasizes independent and emerging brands through runway shows and pop-up shops, which specifically are focused on brands interested in selling direct to consumer. Austin Fashion Week is the fourth largest fashion week concept in the United States. Austin Fashion Week typically occurs twice per year in the spring and fall. Approximately 50 runway designers will be featured each session, along with 10 to 15 pop-up brands. Most shows occur at the Domain, where we shut down the street between Lucy's and Macy's. Wow, they shut down the street. They're legit. Spring 2025 shows are May 8th through the 10th in partnership with the Domain. We look forward to seeing you there. Very nice. You can follow them on Fashion Texas Official. I don't know if I follow them. I just heard of this through like their sustainable fashion efforts, but I don't know if I follow. No, I don't follow them. That's cool. Cool. I will support. I will follow. Okay. I do wonder if they have like past videos on like their fashion week, because I didn't know that Austin, Texas had a fashion week. That's news to me. The more you know, the less you know, apparently. That's the thing here. Let's watch this.
Nearly 50 designers will be featured on the runway this weekend during Austin Fashion Week. The event returns for its 14th year with runway shows, pop-up shops, and a whole lot more. Tyra Newbaum is live in West Austin with a look. Tyra, I love covering this. I remember covering this when the first Austin Fashion Weeks back in college, and now it's just blossomed into something really cool.
Do you really, Leslie? That's amazing. And yes, back for the 14th year. Can you believe that? We're so excited. Austin Fashion Week. I love seeing designers come in from around the country, but I also love, of course, seeing our local designers. Matt, what is going to be happening this week? How can the community come out and be part?
Yeah, 3 big days of runway shows on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Domain. You can buy tickets by going to fashionbyevents.com. Yeah, it's our 14th year. We're super excited. Almost 50 runway designers this year.
Excited for all of the shows. Anastasia, you're going to be out there with your brand, so can you tell us a little bit about it? We have some models here showing it off.
Yeah, thank you so much. So my brand is my lifelong dream come to reality. It's called Formula S7. It's a slow fashion label that is on a mission to build up your iconic and eco-conscious wardrobe. So I have a few different tiers that I offer to my customers. So you can do custom and alterations with me. You can also buy sweatpants, hoodies, anything that is also handmade, one of a kind. And I'm just really trying to build up the sustainable fashion.
Love that. What does it mean to you to be part of Austin Fashion Week?
Yeah, it means everything to me. I'm super honored to be a part of the growing fashion community here in Austin, and I cannot wait for the show on Saturday.
When is your show?
My show is at 3:30 p.m.
Okay, love that. And Punita, you also have a model out here bringing your brand to the runway this weekend. What are people going to see? What's your brand all about?
So my brand is all about women's sustainable clothing, and it's all I emphasize mostly on hand block printing. It's different, and it's 2 different ways to do that. It's resist printing and it's direct printing. So it's all sustainable, it's all organic, and whatever you buy, it's all it has different look because it's done by different artisans. So it's all organic. Whatever the colors and the dyes have been used, it's all plant-based, it's all vegetable dyes. So yeah, yes, I am excited for it. Yeah,
that is absolutely incredible. I love the sustainability behind both of the brands that we have featured here this morning on Good Day Austin. When is your show, and what does it mean to be part of this?
It's going to be on Sunday at 3:30, and I'm really excited for it because this is my first, it's going to be my first runway show, and I did participate with Matt. It was not virtual. It was virtual. It was not I was walking the ramp with the models. So I'm really excited for it, and I'm sure it's going to be a good exposure for me and for all the local designers who are participating in this. I'm really excited for it.
Oh, I love it. It most definitely will be. Well, thank you guys so much, and to these beautiful models for coming out this morning as well. Austin Fashion Week. It's happening this weekend. Get your tickets. So many different runway shows. You can check out all of the different runway shows posted on the website. It shows who's going to be out there, what time, so you can pick kind of maybe a few that you really want to see and head out to the Domain, or hey, head out there all weekend and see what the hottest looks are, Leslie.
Yeah, Tiara, so fun. Like I said, wow, 14 years since I covered the very first one as a student. Now here we are. They're at the Domain.
I love
so
it.
many designers, so exciting. We're excited to hear more about it. We'll check back in. Thanks, Tia.
Wow, I've never heard of it. Dang. And it's been happening for 14 years. That's so cool. I do want to go. I'm getting FOMO. I'm getting FOMO again. Where's my ticket? Where's my ticket? But yeah, this video was from 2002. Wait, what? 2023. 2 years ago. Wow. I want to go so bad now. What? I want to be part of the Austin fashion SHEIN. And they have a runway in the middle of the street? No way.
Welcome back. The 15th year of Austin Fashion Week is quickly approaching. As the 4th largest fashion week concept in the U.S., it occurs twice per year in the spring and fall, with over 50 runway designers showing off their latest collections. And join with me now is Matt Swinney, CEO of Fashion by Texas, head of Austin Fashion Week, to tell us all about what to expect at this year's spring shows and how you can get a front row seat. Matt, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having me.
I love this event. I went in the fall, had so much fun. For people who have never been first, tell me a little bit about what they can expect during Austin Fashion Week.
It's just such a fun kind of amalgamation of the whole city coming together to celebrate, this art form that, you know, we don't think about all that often. You know, most people just get up and get dressed in the morning, and I feel like this is just a way to kind of like show off the expression of the city, and I think it really shows kind of who we are every year. You know, it's runway shows, it's fun, it's, you know, sitting in seats at the Domain and watching beautiful models walk down the runway in art. I mean, what's not to love?
Right, and just too, I feel like when you walk down Austin streets, people have such unique styles. You see cowboy boots, funky things, classy things, all types of things. As far as when you are looking for designers, what is that process like and the talent that you have?
I mean, we want it to be as diverse as possible, exactly what you said. I mean, that is Austin to a T. We're kind of all over the map. We used to be a very shorts and flip-flop city, and sometimes we still are that. But I think it's nice to kind of see what's out there. We have some incredible kind of urban designers now coming out of Austin, and especially Dallas and Houston, and then cowboy boots and a lot of athleisure and that type of thing. And so it really, when we get applications in, we're just trying to find whatever kind of unique mix. The theory being, if you come to a show, every single person will have a different favorite designer, hopefully.
I love that. And too, it's models too of all ages. I remember when I went, we saw little girls up to teens, up to adults. And so that diversity as well is really cool to see on the runway.
Yeah, I think we're really, I'm really focused on, you know, models should look like us. They should look like everybody. Everybody should see themselves out there. And so yes, age diversity, obviously ethnic diversity, men, women, sizes, everything kind of is really what we try to go for.
How have you kind of seen Fashion Week grow throughout the years? You're celebrating 15 years. That's a big deal. I'm sure from the beginning it's been a complete 360, right?
Yeah, it's been kind of all over the place. When we first started, it was really just local designers. You know, that's all the really the kind of world wanted to see from Austin. And now it's really grown into not just one of the largest across the country, but you know, something where emerging designers, young designers can really show their talents and kind of be discovered by a larger part of the fashion industry kind of globally. You know, definitely there are editors and people like that who look at Austin to see who's next.
Yeah, that's exciting. For anyone interested, want to attend, it'll be this upcoming weekend, but where can they go? I know tickets are still available.
Yeah, you can just go to fashionbyevents.com or just Google Austin Fashion Week. Will be the first ones to pop up, and yeah, you can buy tickets to any of the shows.
And applications, are they closed now for designers?
They're closed for designers. Okay. Yeah, we're ready to roll with the whole schedule is up now and ready to go.
Okay, cool. This was also one from 2 years ago, so this information is like old. But yeah, that's super cool to see. I would definitely love to go one of these years when I'm not working 60, 70 plus hours. Maybe next year we'll make it a goal, but that's super amazing to know about. Very inspiring. I love how he said that he wants like inclusivity and like new designers to come and feature their stuff. I think this is such a great opportunity for up and coming people. So love it very much. And then we're going to move on to this news bit. So I also talk about fast fashion and also luxury fashion. And this was a very interesting interconnection where Amazon and Saks Fifth Avenue is going to launch a luxury e-commerce storefront, which I don't really get, but let's get into that. I lost the link, so let's look that up here. It's on Retail Dive. I think this one will do. This one, yes, Fashion Dive. So basically it says the partnership will feature an assortment of high-end men's and women's brands, including Balmain, Stella McCartney, and Fear of God. So this is what it looks like, and it'll be in New York at the Saks Fifth Avenue store, featuring Saks on Amazon promotional imagery. So it does give like a lot of like AI generated art vibes. It's just, I don't really, it looks abstract. I can't really see it from here, but the coloring looks very interesting. But says that Saks Fifth Avenue has launched a multi-brand luxury storefront on Amazon Fashion, according to a Tuesday press release. The new shopping section is called Luxury Stores at Amazon, and it features a selection of merchandise created by Saks Fifth Avenue, including women's and men's ready-to-wear, beauty, shoes, handbags, and accessories. And it says merchandise is available through Amazon's app and website, and the launch is accompanied by specially designed digital displays inspired by the windows of the Saks Fifth Avenue New York flagship. Oh, so it's just inspired by that. It's not actually that. Interesting. So merchandise is inspired by their window collab. Interesting. I've never heard merch for displays before. What is happening? Says Amazon has been trying to break into luxury fashion, not ethical fashion, luxury fashion. I wish that was a Freudian slip right there, but it's not. Since at least 2020. But for the most part, wait, I lost my place. But for the most part, the e-commerce giant has struggled to connect with clothes-conscious consumers. Even Amazon Haul, the company's fast fashion offering, launched last year, has so far failed to bring in the same level of customer excitement as competitors such as SHEIN and Temu. While this venture, Amazon may have found a partner with enough name recognition to fully capture elite online shoppers. So Jenny Freshwater is the vice president of Amazon Fashion, Fitness, and Creators, said in a release that Amazon customers want to shop more high-end brands. This collaboration with Saks furthers Amazon's commitment to supporting luxury industry and increasing our assortment for customers while maintaining an elevated shopping experience that meets the varying tastes of our diverse customer base. What? So initial brands in the storefront include Dulce & Gabbana, Bowman, Edro, Stella McCartney, Gambantista Valli, Erdem, Fear of God, Jason Wu Collection, Rosetta Getty, Johanna Ortiz, Chantakel, and La Prairie. Per the release, more labels will be added following the launch, although the release did not specify additional brand names. The collaboration underscores Saks Fifth Avenue's reputation as a leader in luxury creations, as well as our commitment to reinventing luxury shopping so that each consumer experience is unmistakably their own. We're delighted to collaborate with an increasing group of forward-thinking brand partners for launch, and we look forward to expanding selections with additional brands as we evolve their experience. An editorial campaign accompanying the launch was directed by Max, who is not explained what he does, but Max was directed by him. And the online storefront also is being promoted via a window installation at Saks Fifth Avenue storefront flagship store. And Saks Global is a parent company of Saks Fifth Avenue, and Saks of Fifth completed its acquisition of Neiman Marcus Group, which includes Bergdorf Goodman in January. Okay, following the close of the deal, Saks Global announced multiple rounds of layoffs, including job elimination resulting from the closure of a fulfillment center earlier this month. Okay. Side note, they're actually closing factories and fulfillment centers while they buy up more luxury fashion. That was very subliminal. I feel like this luxury fashion group is like all like a clique of the same people trying to buy each other out so they can get more of these quote unquote elite consumers. But like, how is Amazon actually going to reach these elite consumers when they're known to be targeting lower income consumers that can barely afford rent? And maybe that is why they're buying from Amazon, because things are a bit more cheaper. But I guess Amazon wants those richer consumers, so dang, they're playing us, man. They want everyone else except the poor people. They want to expand their network, make more money. I wonder if it will actually work, especially because they haven't even been successful in like selling fast fashion. So what makes them think they can sell things to luxury consumers through this partnership? I think they feel a bit desperate, not gonna lie. It feels like a desperate move. They have a luxury store section under Amazon, which is very concerning in my eyes. Very concerning. Honestly, they used to say in business class, like, you gotta choose your target audience. And now all I see fashion brands and like major corporations do is like, let's dip our hand in every single jar. We'll dip our jar in the fast fashion group. We'll dip our hand in the poor person's jar. We'll dip our hand in the luxury goods jar. Like, Maybe you should choose one, you know? If not, then I think you're just trying to like grab at everyone. And if you stand for everything, you stand for nothing. So, Amazon, what is your business strategy overall? Because we need cheaper stuff, but they're trying to sell luxury to like elite consumers. So, I don't think they're trying to get the working class people anymore. They're trying to get the boomers. Dang. Amazon, I thought you cared about me. What happened? Oh my gosh. I'm confused what's happening with these corporations. Like, do they not want to like do ethical and sustainable business practices? It doesn't look like it when they want to get into luxury, because luxury cannot be assumed to be ethical and sustainable. I think luxury means profit, major profit. But I would do wonder if there is any like news on this, because I would love to see some more news on fashion instead of like reading a million articles. And also like it'd be interesting to see the displays and how they did that. But I don't know if they did cover that. So let's see.
Luxury retailer Saks Fifth Avenue is launching a dedicated storefront on Amazon, merging high-end curation with fast delivery. This partnership expands Saks' reach to Amazon's vast customer base while offering perks like free, fast shipping and returns through Prime. Featured will be women's and men's fashion from established...
Okay, I think it's just repeating the same thing that I read from the article. Let's see. I don't see anything about the storefront, but they have collaborated in the past. They've been associated in the past. Very interesting. Saks Fifth Avenue and Amazon buy up Neiman Marcus. Interesting. Major power moves by very interesting brands. They have all this money, but they can't pay their garment workers. That's the true question here. I don't see anything on YouTube, so I'm just going to move on to other news about how I've been seeing more sustainable fashion on a local level. And this one is going to be a show in the Parliament, which I find so wholesome, very cute. It's also in Australia, and it's going to be part of the Australian Fashion Week, and it's going to showcase bold creative solutions to the fashion industry and its sustainability challenges. And so the program is called Fashioning the Future, and it's innovating design practices for a sustainable tomorrow. And it will involve fashion students from the University of Technology and TAF and SW alongside the Australian designers at the forefront of sustainable fashion. And yeah, this will be a free exhibit presented by the Center of Excellence in Sustainable Fashion and Textiles, which is in partnership with these colleges, and it'll bring together industry leaders, researchers, leading fashion educators to help transition towards a more sustainable Australian fashion industry through education, research, and advocacy. I haven't heard of these organizations before, but here is their ethos. It says, we live and work on the lands of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, as well as various ancestral lands across the country called Australia. We recognize the proud and strong history of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and acknowledge them as the traditional custodians of the island, rivers, and sea. We acknowledge and pay our respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging of all nations. So they're working towards a sustainable fashion future, which is a systemic shift happening towards how fashion is produced and circulated, a shift desired by creators and demanded by consumers. Sustainability and the digitalization of fashion will dominate fashion industry's roles, and the Center of Excellence brings industry researchers and leading fashion educators together to ensure you're ready to get prepared for the jobs of the future, challenge how you think about fashion and textile design and production, and claim your place in a generally sustainable fashion future. Oh, I love that dress. Very nice. So their mission is to grow the capacity of Australian fashion industry for sustainable fashion future. So I do wonder how they think about Adelina, which is SHEIN's like supposedly like responsible, sustainable mini brand under them, because it does look like there is some conscious fashion lovers, some sustainable fashion leaders here. So I do want to know their perspective. I do want to know what they're thinking, how they're feeling, especially when they have these events that are free for the public and showcasing like sustainable fashion students and leaders. And it says that Australia is the biggest consumer of textiles per capita in the world, according to the Australia Institute, with Australians buying an average of 56 new clothing items a year. That's so interesting that they're called the biggest consumer of textiles. Like, I would think it's like Americans doing that. So they're making Australians out as more evil as us, as Americans. And it says more than 200,000 tons of clothing ends up in the landfill annually, the equivalent of almost 4 Sydney Harbour bridges. I don't know what the Sydney Harbour bridges looks like, but that must be a lot. Wait, we should look it up. Sydney Harbour bridges. I keep getting emails from random SEO people. I don't need SEO work. I just need more time. I just need more time to do better videos. Okay, so this is the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Wow, that's a lot of clothing. 4 of these annually? Is that what they're saying? Oh my gosh, 4 of these annually. Like, it fills all of this up 4 times every year just in Australia. That's crazy. It says today consumers and businesses are increasingly recognizing the importance of embracing sustainability in fashion. Fashioning the future is not just an exhibition but a call to action, inviting everyone to rethink, redesign, and reimagine our approach to fashion. The future is circular, uniting visionary students, pioneering designers, and cutting-edge technology. Fashioning the future explores how fashion can be reimagined in a sustainable and ethical light. Oh, it's going to feature recycled materials, striking photographs, capturing textile recycling in action, and pioneering cradle-to-cradle designs, a circular economy approach that aims to repurpose used materials in new products. Very cool. So it's going to happen from April 29th to May 29th, and that's an exhibit that runs on weekdays from 9 to 5 in the NSW Parliament's Fountain Court. Very wholesome. That's very fun to see. See, these are the things that we need more across the entire nation to like inspire education and like awareness, because otherwise like it's not really going to happen that people are going to realize what's happening, you know. So this is a great way to be like, oh, let's go do something fun, and then you learn about it and then you hopefully change your ways. But yeah, I had no idea that Sydney or like Australia had so much fast fashion consumption. I've never heard of those conversations from that area of the world. So that's a very enlightening thing to know. But do I trust that they're as bad as Americans? I don't know. I feel like Americans are pretty bad. Not gonna lie. I am pretty bad as an American. But another interesting article that I saw is that the Cool Down has written an article about how donation centers are overwhelmed after laws cause major surges in drop-off items. So there's just a lot coming in every day. So basically the European Union, let me move myself up again. It says the European Union took an eco-friendly step this year and outlawed throwing away textiles, and as a result tons of clothing are being recycled or donated instead. And unfortunately the recycling system and thrift stores in Sweden are struggling to manage the spike, according to Agence France Press article shared on, what is this website? Sci.org? Okay, so what is happening? Before the law was passed, trash garments in the EU are burned, which can mean nasty things for the air we breathe. Yes. Burning stuff will cause us to not breathe in good stuff. Okay. More of the pile is now being sorted, reused, and recycled like glass or paper waste. In Stockholm, 60% more textiles were collected for recycling in the first 2 months of this year than the same time frame last year. 60% more. It's a lot more. However, Sweden lacks the necessary sorting facilities and resources to handle the uptick. Instead, the bulk of its overflow is sent to other countries, namely Lithuania, and that's where they're processing and often incinerating items. Items are still being burned in a small Swedish town without secondhand markets, and thrift stores in cities are swamped. Dang. Says it's a huge amount coming in every day. It's been crazy. It's a huge increase, says Brian Kelly, Secretary General of Stockholm Charity Shop. Says, why is keeping clothes out of landfills important? So fast fashion is a notoriously polluting industry. Yes, we do know that. The thing is, like, it's unfortunate how there's like all these thrift stores being swamped, and most people that work at thrift stores are like earning minimum wage. So I don't know if Sweden just didn't think about how this would play out in the long run, and how they didn't end up thinking about how to support thrift stores, especially if they're like banning the fact that you can't throw the clothing away. So that's very interesting, very interesting. So an improvement to the Swedish system is expected. As part of the EU agreement, fashion giants such as H&M and Zara will soon be required to help finance the increased recycling burdens. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm like, we needed more big plans to mitigate everything. And then they explain that the hope is that this kind of incentive will encourage big companies to produce longer lasting items that are less likely to end up in the garbage. Consumers are also making a difference and save cash by cutting back on new clothes and thrifting used items whenever possible. Yes. So this is happening in Sweden. They have outlawed throwing away clothing. The European Union. Very interesting. I was not aware. I did not know. I did not see anything about this. Okay, let's see if I can see anything. I got distracted by Trump's big face on my YouTube channel. Why is he here? Why are you there? Okay. Why is Sweden drowning in fast fashion waste? That's a good question.
Who doesn't love to dress to kill? The compliments, the pictures, it feels good. But reality check, dressing to kill may be slowly killing our planet. The fashion industry, as I'm sure you already know, is one of the biggest polluters. In 1 year, it churns up to 8% of the global greenhouse emissions and uses enough water to fill 86 million Olympic-sized pools in a year. Yet 85% of our clothes end up in landfills, and every second a garbage truck full of clothing is either destroyed or dumped. Every second. That's a dumping pace good enough to rival some Hollywood celebrities. And this is mostly thanks to fast fashion, where cheap clothes are rapidly designed, produced, distributed, and then wasted. So the European Union wants to fix things. They have brought in a new policy this year. It says that used clothes have to be collected separately, then sorted and reused if they're not too damaged. The aim is to improve waste management and to clamp down on clothing waste in Europe. On average, a European buys 26 kilograms of textiles every year and throws away 11 kilograms of it. So this policy is a good start for the continent. But 3 months in, there is an obvious hiccup. The strategy is not easy to execute. Take Sweden, for instance. On average, every Swedish person throws 10 kilograms of textiles in a year. Since the new law came into force on the 1st of January, this Nordic country has seen a huge improvement. Its textiles are being efficiently sorted. About 60 to 70% of them are reused, 20 to 30% are recycled, and 7 to 10% are burned for energy. But all of this is not happening in Sweden. With the new policy, this country is practically drowning in discarded clothes. It lacks the infrastructure to process them, so majority of the waste is being exported to Lithuania, where clothes are sorted, reused, and burned. Because
you're supposed to not get votes in the tattoo competition?
And this is not an isolated case. Most of Europe faces the same problem. It has a limited capacity to sort or recycle clothing waste, and with the new policy, only about a third of the textile waste is collected separately. So much of it is still being jettisoned into landfills in poorer countries. For decades now, this has been the go-to strategy for wealthy nations, not just in Europe, but also in North America. Around 13 million tons of textile waste is produced every year in Europe. And in the US, this number stands at 17 million tons. A bulk of this is poured into Asia, South America, and Africa on a daily basis. I'll give you an example. 15 million garments are dumped in Ghana every week. They have so much textile waste, they have a word for it. Importers of these clothes and taking a heavy toll on the planet. So what is the solution? Experts suggest a two-pronged approach. The first is better waste management and credit where it's due. The European Union is moving in the right direction. It is clamping down on waste. But it's also too little, too late. Nations unburdening on others have a responsibility to deal with their own waste. So Europe has a lot of catching up to do. And America needs to get started. That said, clothing waste is not just a Western problem, it is a global issue. So the second solution is circular fashion, meaning garments need to be more durable. They should be reused and recycled. And to do this, fast fashion needs to slow down. It needs to reduce production volumes. And clothing giants need to be held responsible for it. Because our outfit problems today go way beyond a wardrobe crisis. Fast fashion is a global policy issue. And about time, our regulation catches up with it.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Bluntly, Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.
I think I'm coming back. Sorry for the glitch. Sorry for the glitch. Sorry for the glitch. Okay, so I think I'm back. Basically that was the end of the video that we were watching, but getting into more interesting news. I've been seeing how Vegan Random House just dropped a book band clothing line in partnership with Online Ceramics. So this is a very interesting concept. But here is the things that they're going to be selling. So it says reading is a right, and then they have like shirts and like stickers. So that's something that is coming in midst of like censorship basically. And yeah, they explain that censorship in the form of book bans is a direct threat to democracy and our constitutional rights, as well as our mission to create books for everyone, says Penguin Random House. So I do wonder where we can buy these. I will not. Much of the things that I look at is just for the enjoyment of what I do, not because I'm gonna actually buy it. Why is my stream glitching? Stream glitching. Mari yari bari yari dadari yari. Am I still going? Oh my gosh. Body yaddy yaddy yaddy. I will sing until this works. Body yaddy.